Now I'm recording this, so you will be able to access this review session tomorrow to prepare for your exam. Let's go through it. All right, starting off with Lord of the Flies. In the beginning of the book, a blank was found that was later used to summon the Little Uns. What was that thing? Look at y'all go. I'm not going to give you the answers, by the way. Y'all can holler them out, though. At the beginning of the novel, Jack appears to be the leader/ruler of a what? Which of the following is one of the rules that Ralph established in the beginning of the novel, and why was this rule made? A, the only way someone may speak is if they're holding the conch to establish order. B, the only people who may start fires are Jack and Simon to keep from harming the little ones. C, the fire is to be kept on the beach and made by Piggy's glasses. The fire should be close by and made orderly so as not to get out of control. D, no little ones may leave the campfire after 7 to protect the little ones and make them feel safe. In the novel, Ralph most frequently shows what? The most intelligence, moral responsibility, common sense, and kindness, violent sociopathic tendencies, or a hatred of the world for its horrible condition. In the novel, Piggy most frequently shows vast knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom, poor planning, cruelty, and impulsive actions, anger and short-tempered behavior, or elitist mentality and pompous behavior. How does the boy with the mulberry-colored birthmark die? He is crushed by the rock. He suffocates. He is killed by the fire, or he falls to his death. Ralph and Jack both want fire for different reasons. Ralph wants fire because it will signal for help and it symbolizes hope. Fire causes smoke, which causes less fumigation of the island. Fire is one of Ralph's secret obsessions, or Ralph desires the ability to cook food via the use of fire. When Jack and Ralph go to the mountaintop, they see the beast. Jack, A, is petrified with fear. B, slays the beast. C, hides behind a bush until the beast flies into the air and makes a horrible cry. Or D, realizes that the beast is nothing more than a casualty of war. Why was the severed sow's head in the title of the book called The Lord of the Flies? I'm not going to give you the answers to that. You got to know it. Who is Sam and Eric? A set of twins, a little one, a friend of Simon, or a child who has been on the island for over 22 days without food? Which of the following is a tactic employed by Jack in order to try to kill Ralph? The use of spies, use of camouflage, Jack stalking Ralph during the night when it was hard to see, or Jack using fire to try to smoke Ralph out of his hiding place. To know that, you would have needed to have finished reading the novel, or spark noted your way out of it. How does Piggy die? Ralph kills him with a vine. Roger kills him with a stone. Jack kills him with a knife. He dies when he and Ralph both try to use the conch shell at once. What lures the Navy ship to the island? The fire, the roar of the beast, the signal fire, or shortwave radio? What tool or tools did the boys use to make the fire? You need to know how they create fire on the island. You need to know which character speaks to the Lord of the Flies. You need to know which character represents the superego. All right, switching gears on you. Who is the author of A Modest Proposal? What is the name of the tiny inhabitants in Gulliver's Travels? Are they the wee lads, the Lilliputians, the Yahoos, or very small persons? A modest proposal proposes what exactly? You need to know what he's actually proposing in a modest proposal. A modest proposal could best be categorized as what? A comedy, tragedy, satire, or drama. And where does the author set his modest proposal? What country? What country is A Modest Proposal set in? In Gulliver's Travels, the argument between the big Indians and the small Indians was about what? And the word Indian, not Indian, but Endian, should give it away. That's Endians. The dispute between the big Indians and the small Indians was about what? How did the two political parties in Lilliput distinguish themselves? They use a certain fashion style to distinguish themselves. What is the distinguishing fashion style? Remember that chapter is in your textbook. So, what did the Lilliputians want Gulliver to do? A, build a new fortress. B, take them back to his ship and fulfill their prophecy. C, dig a moat for the palace. Or D, fight the Blefuscu Empire. A, B, C, and D. You will skip questions 25 through 29. It's hard to explain why I had to do that, but you will skip those questions. And I literally say, skip this, skip this, skip this, skip this. Please don't come up to me during the exam and be like, what does this mean? I'm telling you right now, just skip those questions, leave them blank. 25 through 29, write that down. You will skip questions 25 through 29. Switching gears again, who kills Macbeth? In the tragedy of Macbeth, who is the one who actually kills Macbeth at the end of the story? Who fights him and kills him? Whom does Lady Macbeth frame for the murder of King Duncan? Who does she plant those daggers on, those bloody daggers? Which of the following best describes Lady Macbeth's death? Does she die off stage? Does she sleepwalk off of the palace wall? Does she drink poison, or is she slain by Macduff in revenge for his own wife's murder? Hang on. Hello? Yes. Sure. Miss Webb, I need to go to the main office. All right. Continuing. Who discovers King Duncan's body? Who's the first one on the scene? Not who kills him, but who discovers his body. Who does Macbeth see sitting in his chair during that weird banquet? During that weird banquet, who does he see sitting in his chair? And along those same lines, what vision does Macbeth have before he kills Duncan? He hallucinates something, or maybe he actually sees something. What is that thing that he sees right before he kills the king? An air-drawn what? What happens to Lady Macbeth before she dies? What condition does she come down with suddenly before she dies? Why is Macduff able to kill Macbeth despite the witch's prophecy? Where is Duncan killed? Battle of Norway? In his bedchamber at Macbeth's castle? In his bedchamber at Forres? Or at Birnam Wood? Who flees Scotland to join Malcolm in England? Who's that guy who bugs out and teams up with Malcolm in England, and they have that weird thing where they're testing each other out? And who flees Scotland immediately after Duncan's death, like within hours? What title is given to Macbeth after his victory described in Act 1? The king decrees that he should be given a title. What is that title that King Duncan says should go to Macbeth in Act 1? How does Birnam Wood or Birnam Forest come to Dunsinane? Is it by magic? Is it through an earthquake? It doesn't. Or Malcolm's army hides behind cut off tree branches. What nation's army invades Scotland at the end of the play? Not the beginning, but the end of the play. Is it Norway, France, England, or Finland? All right, let's get into Chaucer. Let's do some Canterbury Tales action. In the Canterbury Tales, according to the wife of Bath, What do women most desire? Anyone? To be correct, that was one of them. But what is the thing that gets him off the hook? What was the answer that he gives that gets him off the hook? Sure. According to the wife of Bath, what do women most desire? Specifically? Over their husbands. Good. Sovereignty over their lords or husbands. What is the wife of Bath's prologue about? A, her life with her 5 different husbands. B, Ovid's metamorphosis. C, how women deserve to hold high public offices just like men. Or D, a philosophical treatise on the astrolabe. Trick question. For which social classes did Chaucer write? The nobility, illiterate peasants, merchants, or all levels of society? What do you think, kids? Good. Who told the protagonist in The Wife of Bath the answer to his question? His sister, the old hag, or the king? What was wrong with the protagonist towards the end of the story in The Wife of Bath? A, he didn't want to marry the old hag. B, he was going to die. C, he was being exiled. In the end of the story, what happened? The old hag turned beautiful and faithful, he was exiled, or he assaulted another woman. The Canterbury Tales was written in what language? Old English, Middle English, Medieval English, or Saxon? Sound off. What you got? Good. The nobility in Chaucer's day primarily spoke and read in what language? Was that Middle English, Latin, French, or Medieval English? The blank caused great upheaval across Europe in Chaucer's day. The Black Death, the Norman Conquest, the fall of Rome, or the invasion of the Saxons. Who asks for the king to spare the knight in The Wife of Bath? Is it Arthur, the queen, the miller, or the wife of Bath herself? All right, switching gears again, now we're into Beowulf. In the prologue of Beowulf, it mentions Scyld-Sheafson. Who is the father of Scyld-Sheafson? Trick question. Any guesses? He's a... Anyone? Is it Beowulf, Hrothgar, Grendel, or Sheafson is an orphan? He's an orphan. He's a foundling. How does Hrothgar know of Beowulf? A, Beowulf once proposed to his daughter. B, Hrothgar was friends with Beowulf's father. C, Beowulf had gained a widespread reputation after slaying a dragon. Or D, he reads about him on the internet. You also need to know about how long the dragon is. I know that seems like a cheap, quantitative cheap shot there, but scale is important. Scale is important. You need to know how long the dragon is in Beowulf. So, Jujul it. How long does Beowulf reign as king of the Geats, or Yeats? What, according to Beowulf, is better than mourning a death? Sound off. What you got? Huh? No, but I like the way you think. What is it better to do than mourn a death? Yes, that's right. Vengeance. Avenge the death. Who helps Beowulf against the dragon? Is it Wulfgar, Unferth, Hrothgar, or Wiglaf? Who taunts Beowulf and Heorot? Unferth, Hrothgar, Wiglaf, or Viltho? Hang on a minute. Why did I put that in there? All right, I'm going to give you this answer. Who is Modthrith? Modthrith is a wicked queen of legend. You listening? Modthrith is a wicked queen of legend. That wasn't in the text, but I'm giving you that nonetheless. It is not a Danish thane. It is not a king of the Swedes. It is not a dragon. It is a wicked queen of legend. From whom is Grendel descended? Who is Grendel's ancestor? Good. Who is the queen of the Yeats or the Geats? Is it Viltho, Modrith, Unferth, or Hygid? It is Viltho with a W. Whom does Grendel's mother abduct and decapitate? That is Acher with an A. Acher with an A is the person Grendel's mother abducts and decapitates. How many Geats or Yeats does Grendel kill? Not Danes, but Yeats. How many does he kill? What is hrunting? Hrunting. You need to know what that word is. What is it? Where do the Yeats place Beowulf's barrow? Who is Beowulf's father? What is the name of Beowulf's father? Caden, where do Grendel and his mother live? Good. Now, switching gears again. Let's talk about MLA stuff. You need to know how to format your paper. You need to know what spacing is required, how to head it. You need to know the correct format for a parenthetical reference.
What is that?
Exactly. In general, you need to know how to arrange a works cited page. You need to know how, by what metric a works cited page must be arranged. You need to know the correct indentation style of a works cited page. I'm going to give you a list of MLA in-text citations. I'm going to give you a list of 4. Only one is correct. You need to identify which one is correct according to MLA formatting. I'm going to do that twice. You need to know how to format MLA date. Date for MLA is screwy. You need to know how to correctly format it. You need to know what a thesis statement is. A thesis statement should reflect the main idea of an essay. That is true. It is not the main idea, but it should reflect the main idea of the essay. That is a true statement. So on number 78, when you get to the true-false choice, what are you going to pick? Yes, very good. You're going to pick true, with the understanding that the two are not equivalent, but one reflects the other. You need to know the difference between a good and bad thesis statement. I'm going to give you a series of thesis statements. A couple of them are garbage. One of them's good. You need to be able to pick out the good one. You need to know the proper font to write your paper in. You need to know how to format the title of your paper, which many of you are still struggling with. You do not italicize it. You do not underline it. You need to know the correct order of items in your heading. You need to know which domains are the most reliable. This stuff's common sense. You know what peer review is. First person pronouns. How do we feel about them in academic? Yes.
I have a question about the title. When you say like you need to know, like are you gonna like give us an example, or are we just supposed to like describe how to write it?
This is going to be multiple choice. It'll be multiple choice. You'll have a list of options to choose from. Good question. Good question. First person pronouns in academic writing. How do we feel about them? Should you never use them? Are they sometimes okay? What do you? Yeah, sometimes they're okay. Sometimes it's okay. Next year, when you're crushing it in college and the professor asks for you to format your paper in a manner other than what is stipulated on owl.purdue, you should A, argue with your professor during class, B, argue with your professor in his or her office, C, argue with your professor via email, or D, shut up, format the paper according to your professor's requirements, even though deep down you know they're wrong. Outstanding. Outstanding. When you are attempting to study for a class at college, you should A, study at your house apartment dorm next to your TV and your bed. B, go somewhere else like the library, cafe, or a quiet place on campus and turn your phone off. Or C, tear the textbook apart and eat it. We have to ingest the knowledge, Mr. D. When experiencing writer's block or the feeling of, quote, not knowing where to take your paper next, a student should, A, walk away from it for a while, go for a walk, work out, get some coffee, call your mom. B, talk to a friend of equal or greater academic skill about your problem. C, schedule an appointment with the university's writing center. Or D, all of the above. Very good, yes, all those things. You should try all of those things. If A and B do not work, schedule an appointment with the writing center. Every university has a writing center. Every single one. Every single one. When you are in college, you should remember to A, exercise, B, drink plenty of water, C, eat lots of fruits and vegetables and quality proteins in the dining hall, D, don't develop friendships with students who are just there to party, or E, all of the above. When purchasing textbooks for your class, you should A, always go straight to the campus bookstore and buy the latest new edition. B, look for used copies of McKay's or online, see if earlier, cheaper used editions contain the same information. Success in college at the undergrad level primarily results from going to class, doing the reading, making your health a priority, or D, all of the above. If you think, this is very important, kids, if you think you may not be able to meet a deadline for an assignment in college, you should A, email the professor the day after it was due, B, email the professor the night before it is due, C, accept your mediocrity and say nothing, or D, speak with the professor a minimum of 3 days before the assignment is due and plan accordingly to what he or she says. And the answer to number 100 is D. The answer to 100 is D. Are there any questions? Questions, comments, concerns?